The sun is a memory. For a time no one can count. The sky has been a low, suffocating ceiling of grey ash. It falls without sound, a constant, soft drizzle that coats the world in a uniform shroud of death. The trees are skeletons, the river a sluggish flow of liquid mud. This is life million years ago. A world thrown into a long twilight by the tantrum of a distant volcano. In the shallow overhang of a cliff, a clan of Australopithecus endures. They are not thriving. They are fading. The hunt is a memory. The last scavenged carcass a collection of bones picked clean. A grim study in taphonomy at the edge of their living space. The cold is a constant thief, stealing raw, stealing strength, stealing hope. Among them is a young male. He is not a leader, not a great forager. He sits at the edge of the group, on the periphery of the fire's meager warmth. As he is on the periphery of their social world, he is an observer. His mind a quiet pool in the midst of his clan's loud and anxious misery. His belly is a hollow ache, a familiar companion. He idly picks through the bonelet, the last evidence of a successful day. He lifts the long, slender wing bone of a large vulture, itself a casualty of this endless grey winter. The bone is light, hollow, and snapped clean at both ends. He has seen the marrow sucked from 1,000 such bones, but this one is different. It is clean, empty. Boredom is a powerful catalyst. He holds the bone to his lips, partly to warm his cold fingers with his breath, partly from a deep, gnawing habit of putting everything to his mouth in the desperate search for a forgotten scrap of nourishment. He blows, not into the bone, but across the sharp, broken edge of the opening, and a sound is born into the world. It is not a grunt of pain or a cry of hunger. It is not the growl of a predator or the howl of the wind. It is a single, thin, clear note, pure and piercing. It hangs on the dead air for a second. A perfect, liquid sphere of sound in a world of harsh, guttural noise. It is a sound of impossible grace. He freezes, his eyes wide, the bones still at his lips. He has done something new under the dying sun. The reaction from the clan is immediate and violent. It is fear. The dominant male, a great, shaggy beast of muscle and suspicion, leaps to his feet with a threatening roar. Baring his yellow canines, he sees not a marvel, but a threat. A strange sound is a new danger. A predator he does not recognize. Mothers clutch their infants, their own fear a palpable scent in the enclosed space. The other males grab heavy stones, their knuckles white. They stare at the young male, their eyes narrowed, accusing. Where did this ghost sound come from? What spirit has he called into their midst to worsen their suffering? The fragile social fabric, already strained to the breaking point by starvation, is now vibrating with a new, alien terror. The young male, seeing the wall of fear and aggression rising against him, quickly hides the bone in the folds of his hydra. The sound is gone, but its echo remains, a question mark hanging in the grim, silent air of their cave. He guards his secret in the daylight hours, when the clan disperses in the grim, fruitless ritual of foraging. While they turn over frozen stones and strip bitter bark from dead trees, he retreats to a small, hidden fissure in the rock. Here, he communes with the bone. He learns its voice. He finds that by covering one of the snapped ends with his palm, the note changes, becoming deeper, more mournful. He discovers that shorter, sharper breaths create a fluttering, bird-like call, a ghost of a sound from a time of plenty. This is a process of pure discovery, the dawn of an art form in a mind built for the brutal pragmatism of survival. He is not thinking of music. He is simply mapping the contours of a new and beautiful phenomenon. The sounds he makes are for himself alone. A small, private rebellion against the grey, silent misery that has consumed his world. The crisis comes, as it always does, in the deep of the night. The fire has burned down to a pile of sullen, glowing embers, offering little light and even less warmth. It is the time of greatest vulnerability, when the cold gnaws deepest and the unseen things in the dark feel closest. An infant, weak from hunger and sick with a rasping cough, begins to cry. It is not the fussy cry of a healthy child, but a thin, reedy wail of pure misery that seems to have no end. The mother, her self-content hollow-eyed, rocks the child, her soft, guttural coos of comfort lost in the infant's relentless screaming. The sound grates on the clan's raw nerves. It is a beacon of weakness, a signal to any predator that might be prowling the ash-covered landscape. More than that, it is an auditory symbol of their slow, collective death. The dominant male rises, pacing restlessly, his grunts of agitation growing louder. He glares at the mother and child, a look of pure, frustrated menace, in a world this close to the edge. The weak are reliability. The young male sees it all. He sees the mother's terror,
At last,
the
they
infant's
collapse on the
pain,
grassy
the
bank.
leader's rising anger, and he makes a choice. It is a hard choice, born of empathy. To remain silent is to be safe. To use the bone is to invite the clan's fearful wrath upon himself. He pulls the vulture bone from his wrap. He rises slowly, deliberately, so as not to startle the agitated leader. All eyes snap to him. The dominant male lets out a low growl, a clear warning. Ignoring it, the young male walks to the mother and child. He kneels. He looks at the screaming infant, its tiny face contorted in a mask of suffering. Then he brings the bone to his lips and plays. He does not play the sharp, piercing note that first startled them. He plays the low, soft sound he discovered in his fissure. A single, gentle, breathy note. Then he plays the second, higher note he found. He repeats the pattern. Low, low, then high. A simple, generic lullaby. A question and an answer. The infant screaming falters.
This
Its frantic,
raft is
tiny
more
fists
than a
UNCURL.
It is
Its
a
head,
leap in
wet
the
with sweat
story
and
of
dash,
human adaptation.
turns toward the source of this new, gentle sound. The crying subsides into shuddering hiccups. The young male continues to play, his eyes on the child. The mother stares, her jaw slack with disbelief, as her infant's eyes flutter and close, its breathing easing into the shallow rhythm of sleep. The cave is silent, but it is a new silence. The aggressive tension has vanished, replaced by a shared, stunned awe. The dominant male has stopped pacing. He stares at the sleeping child, then at the young male with the bone. His brow furrowed not with anger, but with a profound and unsettling confusion. This is a pivotal moment in the journey of the human mind, a great cognitive shift. They have just witnessed a tool that does not cut, or scrape, or crush. They have witnessed a tool that heals. The sound has a name now. It is a series of soft, clicking sounds the young male makes with his tongue when he points to the bone flute. It is a word, a whistle, the first word for music. The fear is gone, replaced by a cautious, almost reverent curiosity. The bone is no longer his secret. It belongs to the clan. In the grim twilight of the evenings, he is no longer on the periphery. He is brought to the center, near the fire, and by a silent, common consent, he is expected to play. He is simple. To note melodies become the new heartbeat of their shattered world. It is a sound that papers over the rumble of their empty bellies and quiets the fear of the endless dark. It is the beginning of culture, a shared experience that exists for no other reason than to be shared. The real test of this new tool comes when a scout returns, breathless and trembling, with news. By Megaloceros, a giant elk with a rack of antlers as wide as a fallen tree, has succumbed to the cold. Its massive body lying in a snow-filled gully a half-day's walk from their shelter. It is a bounty of meat and fat that could save them, a gift from the grey sky. But it is also a danger. The scent of a fresh kill travels on the wind. The carcass will draw every hungry predator for miles. Cave hyenas, worms, perhaps even the great cave bear. To claim it, they will have to be fast, and they will have to be brave. Despair has made them weak and timid. The hunters are lethargic, their shoulders slumped in a posture of defeat. The leader grunts and gestures towards the gully, but there is no enthusiasm, only a weary resignation. It is then that the young male, the flute player, steps forward. He raises the bone to his lips and begins to play a new rhythm. It is not the soft, gentle lullaby. It is a fast, sharp, percussive sequence of notes. Staccato, urgent, it mimics the sound of running feet, of a heart pounding with the thrill of the chase. It is a sound of action. He sways as he plays, his body keeping time. One of the younger hunters, his eyes fixed on the flute player, begins to tap his spear shaft on the stone floor in time with the rhythm. Then another. Soon, all the hunters are pounding their spears in unison. A deep, resonant booming that fills the cave. The sound is a powerful, primal force. It is the sound of a single, unified organism. The lethargy is gone, burned away by a fire lit by nothing more than patterned air. This is the birth of the war drum. The marching song, the anthem. They move out as one, not as a ragged band of starving scavengers, but as a disciplined unit. The flute player marches with them, his sharp, bright notes cutting through the grey air. A constant, unifying pulse. The sound strengthens their resolve, sharpens their senses. They reach the gully and find the great elk. But they are not alone. A pack of dire wolves is already there, tearing at the frozen hide. In the past, the hunters might have fled from such a sight. But today, they are different. They advance in a line, pounding their spears on the ground, creating a thunderous rhythm while the flute's high, sharp notes dance over the top. The wolves, confronted by this wall of organized, confident, and impossibly loud hominids, hesitate. This is not the behavior they expect from their usual prey. After a tense standoff, the pack breaks and scatters into the grey woods. The clan falls upon the carcass, their stone tools a flurry of desperate, joyful butchery. That night, for the first time in an age, they feast around a blazing fire, with bellies full in the smell of roasting fat in the air. The flute player plays his lullaby. This new tool, born from an accident of breath and bone, has given them more than a moment's comfort. It has given them back their strength, their courage, their will to live. It has reminded them of the most important survival tool of all, the social cohesion that turns a group of frightened individuals into a clan. This single, hollow bone represents one of the great, quiet leaps in hominid history. Its invention suggests that survival is not just a matter of calories and stone tools, but also of the spirit, the ability to create abstract beauty, to manipulate sound to evoke emotion. Is not a frivolous luxury. It is a profound evolutionary advantage. Music, in its earliest form, was a technology for building and maintaining social cohesion. It calmed the fearful, emboldened the timid, and synchronized the actions of the group, turning a clan into a chorus. It was the first language that spoke not to the logical mind, but directly to the heart, bypassing the need for complex grammar to deliver its message. We are together, we are strong, we will endure. Every symphony, every protest song, every lullaby whispered to a child in the dark is a direct descendant of that first, haunting note. We have filled the world with our music, but we have never forgotten the lesson learned in that ash-filled cave, that sometimes the only thing that can draw back the encroaching darkness is a sound that reminds us we are not alone. Our tools shaped our hands, but our song shaped our souls. But what happens when the song is a lie?